Good morning and welcome to Mornings on Main Street for this Tuesday, February 7th. I'm your host, Stephanie Miller. Thanks so much for joining us here on this Tuesday morning. Coming up, we are talking with a tax expert to answer some general questions that you might have about tax time. Also this morning, we visit with Second Cup of Joe, Mr. Joe Elvis and John Dwyer. They sit down with former Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders to talk life and to hear a little more about from the time period when it went from Oilers to Tennessee Titans. It's a fun conversation that they have that we get to listen to this morning. Also, a little later on in the show, we connect with the director of Small Business Development Center, Tennessee, to hear why this is a great connection to have if you're an entrepreneur or a small business. But first, we're getting a check of our headlines this morning from a couple of our papers, one being Lucy Nelson. Meet her. New Lucy continues to pave the way for other women at the Lebanon Fire Department. Now, last July, Nelson was promoted to the Lebanon Fire Department lieutenant position, the department's first female officer. Now, her story is one that shows that you can achieve just about anything when you set your mind to it, and that hard work really does pay off. Read Lucy Nelson's full story and what her colleagues have to say by going to thewilsonpost.com. And then check this out. Get a look. Monopoly Nashville edition. I love it. It's in the works right now. And you can help determine which locations that they would like to see featured on the board via the official Monopoly Nashville email. So go to Nashville@toptrumps.com. You can go there until March 1st. Now, the official Nashville version of Monopoly says that the game will be on shelves in early October. For more, go to mainstreetnashville.com. I love it. And the 2022 Wilson County, Tennessee State Fair is receiving recognition. Listen up. Carnival Warehouse has listed it as number 22 on its list of top 50 fairs in the country. Carnival Warehouse assesses fairs based on attendance and other factors. Well, the 2022 fair set a daily attendance record each day. Find out its record total by visiting wilsonpost.com. Congratulations. Okay, let's get a check of our forecast now with Mr. Justin Kulik and get our little funny for the day.
Hey, Stephanie, thanks for
Hey,
talking
Justin.
to me. So I just had one quick question for you.
Yes.
So where does a seal go to watch their movies?
To watch the movies?
Yes, a seal.
A seal. I don't know.
They go to the dive-in.
Oh, that's cute.
Thank you. I hope that one's a good one for you this morning.
That was.
As far as your weather goes, for the day, it's going to be cloudy with a slight chance of rain shower. As we move into the evening, it's going to remain that cloud cover, and a few showers are going to develop late with the low going down to 49 degrees. Winds light and variable, so it is going to get a little warmer, but kind of comes with a little bit of precipitation cost there. But that's your weather for today.
Justin, we always appreciate it and absolutely love your jokes of the morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
It is that time. It is just about tax time. To tell us the information that we need about taxes, we have Steve Springer with us from Stone, Rudolph, and Henry CPA. First off, Steve, thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's great to be with you.
Oh, you're so kind. So tax time, a lot of preparation has to go into getting all your documents together. What do we need to make sure that we have so we can, find success in our taxes?
Right. Great question. Because, the taxpayers who are most successful in getting refunds or paying the least amount of tax are those who prepare well in advance. And my suggestion is start with last year's tax return. And for example, our firm will send out what we call a tax organizer to all our clients. And it has a detailed listing of everything that went into last year's return. And you can use that as a starting point for this year's return, even as a checklist, if you will, to make sure that you have all that information before you drop it off at your accountant's office. Or if something has changed, that might be the situation where you want to call the accountant and say, hey, I have something new this year. Can we take 15 minutes or 30 minutes and let's sit down and talk through that? So that would be a great opportunity to do that.
So I know you say someone looking at an accountant. At what point should we consider bringing on an accountant to do our taxes?
Right. Great question. Most taxpayers, if they just have a W-2, they work for someone else. They're not self-employed. They don't have rental properties. They don't have significant investments. Those returns are fairly simple. We do a lot of those, but truthfully, if you're savvy with a computer, you might be able to do that on a TurboTax or something like that. But anything beyond just those very basics, it gets complicated very quickly. And that's where you probably need a professional to step in and help you navigate all that.
What about someone who has, I guess, another business? So say you have your personal taxes and then your business taxes that you have to do. I guess what should you do at that point?
Right. Well, anytime you're talking about a business, whether that is you're selling a product or a service, or maybe you have some rental properties or something on the side, that's a situation where you definitely need, I think, a professional, because the rules change so frequently that you need someone who can help you stay abreast of all those changes, so you make sure you get the most deductions, pay the least amount of tax.
What sort of deductions? So as we're moving throughout our year, what sort of receipts should we be holding on to make sure that we get the reductions that we're looking for?
Well, it's interesting because the IRS really has two criteria for business deductions. It says it must be ordinary and necessary. That's pretty wide open,
I'd say,
when you think about it. So ordinary means for whatever type of business you have, it needs to be an ordinary expenditure for that. And the flip side of that is necessary. Was it something that was optional, or is it something that was really needed to help you produce the revenue in your business? And I use this example a lot. And believe me, I've been asked this more than once. So a client comes to me and says, hey, could I write off a bass boat? And I'm thinking, okay, you are a mechanic or whatever. What does a bass boat have to do with this? Well, if I put the name of my business on the side, could I call that advertising? Well, the answer is no, because does it meet the ordinary and necessary? No, it really doesn't. It's clever, it's creative, and I love clever and creative. But at the end of the day, I have to kind of help navigate my clients into that area where they'll be safe filing those returns. So that's an example I use frequently. And I have been asked that question.
I'll be darned. I would not have thought that you would have been asked something like that. Two other questions that I have. So say it's tax time, you find out that you have to pay this money back and you don't have it. Okay,
great question. Well, the IRS has a convenient payment plan for you. So
of course they do.
They actually call it an installment plan. And so basically you can set up a repayment plan of whatever taxes you owe over, I think it's a 6-year, 72-month period of time. The way they do that is they have you set up a draft right out of your checking account on a certain day of the month. And that works great. And it doesn't really give you a bad mark or a red flag, because it happens very frequently. People get into situations where their cash flow doesn't match up with filing that tax return, and they need a little extra time to pay that.
What is the most common question that you get?
Most common question is probably just, what all can I deduct? That's just a very broad question. But my answer is everything related to generating that income. And what's so important is that we recommend, if you have a business, for example, have a separate checking account for that business. Keep it separate from your personal account. Don't commingle your personal and your business, because then you know that everything that went into that account was business income, everything that came out was a business expense. And then you don't have to spend hours and hours at the end of the year trying to sort out what was business, what was personal. So it saves time, but also if you're ever audited, then the IRS only has one place to look. If they're auditing your business, then they can focus on that and not all your personal information in this other account. So.
Well, Steve, sir, as we've been talking, I have like 3 or 4 other segments in my head that we're going to have to revisit with you at a future time, if you don't mind. But Steve, thank you so much for this information. Again, general questions about tax time that is always good maybe to hear once again. So thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. It's great to be with you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sticking here with us on Mornings on Main Street, but we're not done yet. Stay right here.
hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd. The goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Don't miss a minute of the action this season. Visit NashvillePredators.com/tickets to get your seats today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets. And we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Walmart Supply Center is hiring right now in Lebanon, Tennessee, where you can earn up to $22.25 an hour when you join our new fulfillment center. Enjoy competitive pay and flexible hours and all sorts of perks like 100% paid college tuition, a 401k match, flexible schedules, a free Walmart Plus membership, a free Paramount Plus membership, plus you get paid time off and a lot of other things. All you have to do to apply is text JOIN to 240240. Text the word JOIN, JOIN, to 240240 right now.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. We are now going to visit Second Cup of Joe with Joe Elvis and John Dwyer. They sit down with former Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders. Here's a little bit of their conversation.
Hey, we know people. Let's take a spin through Joe and John's Rolodex.
S. It's on S, Joe. I'm so proud. During our broadcast careers, a lot of our guests are, frankly, from our Rolodex of people that you've met. We both and I have not burned every bridge, and I have it with this guy, and super fun to cover. One of the most positive people I've ever met. It's former wide receiver for the Ohio State University.
That's it.
And the Tennessee Titans, Chris Sanders. Man, Chris, welcome, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. First of all, I got a song, too, man. This
is what I want to hear.
A Michael Jackson song. When he says, Mama say, Mama saw, Mama saw.
Yeah.
I thought he said, Mama saw a mongoose.
That's the best one.
I mean, I'm just singing the whole song. I'm like, what in Sammy Hill is he saying? If you sing it like 8 times, Mama say, Mama saw, a mongoose. See?
No, it's mongoose. It is mongoose. I didn't know. That's a good one. See, he came strong out of the box. No show prep. Didn't know anything, and he came out strong. This is why we do what we do at the beginning. So anyway, Chris, look, you are the third-round draft pick of the Oilers at the time. We'll talk about all that.
Sure.
But now you're at MBA. Montgomery Bell Academy. I laughed at all you Titans players, all you Oilers players, and you may not be in this group, and maybe you are.
All right.
When it was announced, when Coach Fisher walked in and announced that this franchise that you were drafted for in 95 is moving to Nashville, Tennessee, to a player, didn't go over well because you're a young professional athlete living in a major city, Houston. And they said, well, I'm done playing. I ain't never living here.
Yeah.
And guess what? Y'all live here.
Yeah.
Every one of you lives here.
But first of all, my heart is broken. I mean, I moved here with the team.
I know you did.
I'm Chris. Nice to meet you. I'm the guy.
No, I know you moved here with the team. No, I know that's my whole point. You are in that window
It was crazy. It was crazy because the thing about it is we were in a meeting. And
just burned that bridge.
Yeah, I know. I love you too. But Coach Jeff Fisher walked into the meeting room. And we were just sitting there acting silly. And all of a sudden he said, you got 2 weeks to go find a house. And that's exactly how it happened. I mean, everybody was kind of sitting there bewildered because there's a lot of situations going on with the mayor and with Bud and all those things that were going on. Then all of a sudden, Jeff Fisher walks in the room and says, I like his mustache. His mustache is looking kind of crazy, but,
hasn't changed.
Yeah, it hasn't changed. But, he walks in there. He said, you guys got 2 weeks to go find a house when you move down there. And I'm just like, what in the world is going on? But as coming in as a rookie in my second year, it really didn't matter because I was still kind of, raw coming into the league. So we could have played in somebody's backyard. We could have played in Montgomery Bell Academy. It was just being in the NFL was just really, really cool.
NBA would have been an upgrade, by the way.
It would have. It would have. I mean, the facilities were pretty doggone bad.
You guys started in the Liberty Bowl in Memphis.
Oh.
My wife and I would go down and see you guys. She worked for Northwest Airlines, which had a Memphis base. So we'd catch an early flight out of Nashville, go to Memphis, watch the game, have our drinks, turn around, come back to Nashville that night. What a weird place that was.
Weird.
Very strange.
It was the weirdest thing because when we got on the flight, it took about 2 minutes to get there. I mean, about time you
went up, you went down,
and then came down. But I think the craziest part of the whole situation was, I think it was our last time playing there. We were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I was there.
And, you think you're going to have a home game and everybody's going to be excited and rah, rah. We walked out and we're getting booed. I'm like, what in Sam E. Hill is going on?
Yep.
It was the worst. It was, it was a bittersweet thing because the thing about it was sad because we're thinking we're going to have a home game. But it was good because we're going to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Well, we went to Vanderbilt, then went to the stadium.
All right. A quick story about that game that maybe you don't know. So you're right. You were booed because Pittsburgh fans travel well. The game meant nothing to them. They rested people. You guys went 8-8. You went 2-6 at the Liberty Bowl, 6-2 on the road, which is, and to win 8 games in the NFL is pretty good. So under those circumstances, but Bud Adams after the game is because there's a 2-year deal to play there. And that first year didn't work out. He was so upset at how you were received. Now it rained that day.
Yeah. I remember.
And there were Pittsburgh fans there, but there was also a lot of yellow slickers. And this is true.
Yeah.
Had it been a sunny day, I'm not so sure Bud would have moved. He was convinced they were all Pittsburgh fans, even in the yellow slickers. And I thought this worked out pretty well.
It was so bad. But then he got so mad that we moved to Vanderbilt. I mean, that's how mad he was. But, even though it was a tough situation, even though it was crazy, we still had a good time. And when you have guys like Bruce Matthews and guys like that are veterans that know how to handle it in a professional way, it just made it so much special. The things that Bruce Matthews did is kind of like this. Even though the tough situation was going to move and all this, is when he would walk in the locker room. Bud Adams would walk in the locker room. He's laughing.
He would waddle.
And Bruce Matthews would change the nameplates on the names. So just imagine if Drew Bennett was Drew Bennett's name and Derek Mason is standing there.
Walks up to Steve McNair.
And and Bud Adams would look up at the sign and say, "Okay, how you doing, Derek Mason?" And it'd be Bruce Matthews. But things like that Bruce Matthews, even though we got booed and even though it was going through a tough situation, he still made it fun. And that's what leadership is. And it was tough. It was wild. I mean, just imagine about 53 guys, gigantic guys in small locker rooms. So even though the situation was tough, we still had to make it work. And the way you make it work is you have guys like Bruce Matthews, Brad Hopkins, Derek Mason, Eddie George. Even though we was going through a tough situation, we still handled it in a professional way.
Always such a great time there on Second Cup of Joe. They have such candid conversations with their guests. Loved it. All right, stick with us. We have more coming up here on Mornings on Main Street when we come back.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back. It's time now for a conversation I recently had with the director of Small Business Development Tennessee. She shares with us why there's such a great connection to have if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner.
Well, I have the pleasure now of having Liz Snodgrass with us. She is from the Tennessee Small Business Development Centers. Thank you, Liz, for coming in and joining
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, because we really want to touch on the vital work that the Tennessee Small Business Centers do for Tennessee as a whole.
Sure.
So kind of give us an overview first off.
Sure. So our parent organization is the Small Business Administration, and we have a host organization. We are located within 15 different sites within Tennessee. And particularly for Clarksville, our host organization is Austin Peay State University. Mm-hmm. So we serve a 7-county region. It is Cheatham County, Dixon County, Houston County, Humphreys County, of course Montgomery County, Robertson, as well as Stewart counties. Okay. And so our role is to really help anybody who is interested in either starting a business and they're at the startup phase, or somebody who's been in business for a little while and just has some challenges that they're dealing with, and we try to fill the gap in whatever challenges that they might have. We're big on training and education and really being able to understand what our clients' needs are from that perspective so that we can provide. For example, we have a social media and digital marketing workshop coming up, and so we try to post those workshops that we have coming up so that people can take advantage of typically a very, very low cost or free services that we provide.
Can you share with us the amount of money that comes into our state from small businesses?
Sure. So from the standpoint of in our annual report from 2021, the state of Tennessee, there was an investment of roughly $140 million that was invested in Tennessee for small business. And so that's huge, and we're a part of that. So we're very, very proud of the fact that we're able to make an economic impact, not only in Clarksville, but also the surrounding counties of Montgomery County.
Oh, 100%. And I know here in Montgomery County, we have a number of small businesses that are really trying to thrive and coming off of a pandemic. We had several, unfortunately, that had to shut their doors.
Yes.
How are you guys helping them navigate now to make sure that they are generating the money that they need to stay open, to stay afloat?
Sure. So during the pandemic, we were able to get funding for many of our small businesses through the PPP program. And then also now we're just really trying to strengthen their balance sheet, really trying to help them, as we were talking previously, there's always going to be a time of recession. Right. There's always going to be a time of boom. And so it's really trying to plan accordingly in those times of boom to be able to, set things aside so that when that cycle hits, that it's a recession, that businesses are still able to sustain. Right now, of course, we have the supply shortages, supply chain issues that many of our small businesses are dealing with. So we're trying to really diversify where their supplies come from so that we can help them and they're not caught short of a particular item or whatever they need for their business. So it's those challenges that we really try to address with our clients so that they know what the other options are. And honestly, when you come to the Tennessee Small Business Development Center, you're not only getting the knowledge base and the business consulting that me and my cohort, Len Stoltz, has. He's our business consultant that has wealth of knowledge and years of experience. All of our business consultants throughout the state have either owned a business or currently own a business, or have ran business operations. So they have intricate knowledge about how to run a business. And so you're tapping into not only the wealth of information that we have in our center, but all of our centers throughout the state of Tennessee. So if we don't know an answer, we can pick up a phone and connect them with somebody that does have that answer. And so we're able to tap into everybody's knowledge base.
That's amazing. So anyone out there, small business owners, those of you who are entrepreneurs looking to open that business, you are not alone. And again, there are people here to help and give you that helping hand. Well, before I ask kind of the final questions of where we can reach out to you, how we can find out about the classes that you guys are putting on, the training courses, is there anything else that you would like to highlight?
So we have a Facebook page and we have an Instagram, and we have, of course, on our website, tsbdc.org, there are numerous classes, on-demand training, as well as in-person and virtual classes that we have. And you not only can take a look at what we have as a center, but also all of those across the state of Tennessee and take advantage of all of those. And we welcome feedback. We welcome people to let us know what is it that you're challenged with so that we can try to address some of those challenges that you're having. And if you are a small business owner, we welcome you to come and contact our office to talk about what challenges that you're facing in your business so that we can try to assist you in any way that we can. Of course, all of our services are of no cost to you. Some of our trainings do have a small cost because we do have an expert consultant that's coming in to talk about some of the workshops and topics that many people are very, very interested in. So,
well, looking ahead, what else do you have in December? So by the time people are seeing this, you just had the social media workshop.
Yes.
So what's coming on after that?
So we'll only have one more in December, and that will be selecting the right business entity for your business. And that one will be led by Steve Springer, who is a CPA and a principal at a local CPA firm. And so he'll be, that's going to be a lunch and learn from 11 to 12 on December 14th. And that'll be at the press on the second floor.
Fantastic. And I'm sure a lot happening after January once we get into 2023. Liz, thank you so much. She is the absolute sweetest. You were so kind. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you are welcome. And I look forward to the next time that you sit down with
All
us.
right.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
Walmart Supply Chain is hiring in Lebanon. Earn up to $22.25 an hour when you join our new fulfillment center. Enjoy competitive pay and premium perks, including 100% paid college tuition, 401k match, flexible schedules, a free Walmart Plus membership that includes discounts, and free Paramount Plus, paid time off, and so much more. Fulfilling work starts right here. Text JOIN to 240-240. That's JOIN 240-240 to apply now.
It's time to get tickets for the Nash Vegas Casino Night at Auction presented by King Jewelers. It's Wednesday, February the 8th at Bridgestone Arena. This year's theme is reverse retro, so break out the Musters jerseys and Y2K fashion. Challenge Roman Yossi to a game of blackjack, or join Ryan McDonough as he rolls the dice at the craps table. Mix and mingle with the players and Preds personalities while bidding on auction items and tasting food from local restaurants. All proceeds benefit the Preds Foundation. Visit NashvillePredators.com/gala.
Welcome back. Okay, I'm asking once again, and I'm going to keep asking. Send us your birthday and your anniversary. Send it right here to smiller@mainstreetmediatn.com. Send this into us, whether it be your own birthday or anniversary or a loved one. We would love to share it right here on Mornings on Main Street. So again, start sending it our way, or else I'm going to have to start starting the show with this. I try to say that 2 times fast. All right. Also today, taking a look at your national days. First national day is National Periodic Table Day. It's on February 7th, which is today. What this is this recognizes the publication of the first table of elements. Also today, it is National Send a Card to a Friend Day. So if you have someone on your mind today, either go out, grab a card, put it in the mail, or maybe even send a card through email or one of the card sites out there. It's always great to hear from a friend. Thanks so much for joining us here today. We would also appreciate if you have an event going on in your area or something cool happening, also share it with us here at Mornings on Main Street. We would love to hear from you and share what is happening in the area that you live. Please be sure to join us tomorrow morning on Wednesday. But until then, have a great day.